It's Roslynn back at you one more again. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate you. I hope everybody is doing good on this, Tuesday night. Let me turn this music down. Of cancer. And it's really been intense for a lot of people. And it ain't been, easy for all those different things that's been taking place to help us, learn and grow. So, what is it? So, foundations for your sacred space of peace or redemption. So, it's like all these different things that's taking place with the full moon of Cancer. It's like the past keeps coming up. There are different things that has taken place that that's truly beneficial towards you. So it's just like so many different things that's taking place, and it just wants you to be able to appreciate all those life lessons. What's up, sis? What are you doing? Thank you for stopping through. I'm trying to find my screenshot that I took of different things that you may be experiencing on different things that took place that that we really need to be able to pay attention to. And I hope everything's going good with you. Thanks for stopping by. It's been a minute since you came through on chat support. So okay, got it. It's going through a huge energy release on different things that is taking place, and they want you to be able to not allow yourself to take in the next sequence through that change of burdens of yesterday, but being able to nurture yourself in the best way possible. They're telling you to trust the process, not to be so hard on yourself and be so judgmental of yourself and different things that's taking place, and sometimes it's hard to even go through that. But it's like it's like the opposite sun and potent Pluto in Capricorn, because that actually happened, I think it was yesterday. But it's like releasing tension, clearing blockages, eliminating irrational fears, obsessions, epiphanies, clarity, insights, breakthroughs, ending harmful patterns and unhealthy dynamics, rebalance and setting boundaries, and clearing tensions, reciprocated feelings and open communication, being able to be forceful, with yourself, being able to really understand, everything happens for a reason. There's a lot of different things where you feel like you never fit in, you're never being picked, you're never being told, never being able to really get that full chance that you feel like you deserve, like, oh, I earned it, I did this and this, that. But it's just like with your purpose, is not going to be something that is going to be that easy ride, like you're just going to be sightseeing. This is like an emotional roller coaster on the Tower of Terror. At times it really feels that way. So, all these different things is coming up. Oh, first and foremost, I'm going to be doing this video for at least about 30, 45 minutes, because I'm still trying to, allow me to get through the, through the routine of different things and stuff like that. So I've been trying to be able to keep myself busy and keep myself on a tight schedule on different things to do. If you OCD and ADD, you already know how that can be. And y'all don't get triggered by my eyes. I always call these the Anchurian eyes. It gives me that extra channeling to myself, and different things. So it is just like, you're going through things where it may feel like you're being exiled from a lot of things, or, really trying to understand why things are the way they are, and just really trying to understand, let me move forward, allow myself to see everything as a lesson. And that's what they're teaching you to do. And, so many different things just taking place in your life, and it's just like really learn the lesson throughout everything that you go through, even when it just feels like you're always excluded out of everything, it may be preparing you for something else where you'll have different people coming from all different walks of life that really understand, that path of purpose on what you're going through. Hey, Miss Lorene, how you been doing, sweetie? It's so good to hear from you. I ain't heard like Roslynn is always, I feel uncomfortable being around a lot of people. I'm like that too. Large groups can really, it can really make me uneasy. But it's just like all that different energy. But a lot of times you have to be able to go through it. It's like before I used to tell y'all, like, hey, beautiful. Hey, Sammy, what's up, love? Much love to y'all. Happy New Year's. They're keeping a sense of humor these days. It's like, yeah, I hope everybody's cute. You try to, you know, a lot of times they always tell you, you have to cry to, you have to laugh to keep from crying. You know, it's just so many different things. They don't want you to occupy yourself. You know how they always tell you, stay busy. As soon as you said, hey, it started to swell. Yeah, I know. And you know how it gets like that sometimes when y'all come through here. It's like that. But you know, different things that takes place. It's like, you know, like I told y'all before, there'll be sometimes, like, if even when I go to Walmart, it would get uncomfortable, especially like, you know, during the holidays, especially after when everybody's getting them daggone, you know, those stimmy checks and stuff like that. It would be so uncomfortable being in there, where I used to always wear sunglasses and keep my earphones in, but then it was just like, take charge of your life. You know your energy. You know when somebody else's energy steps in, you can go in there, get what you got to get, and go without any fear. And they want you to be able to do that with everything in your life. You know, there's a lot of times we automatic reaction, you know, we're in human form, so we have to be able to trust the unfolding, and a lot of times it takes a lot of strength to do that. I know, you know, and it's just like, you have to be able to keep moving, and being able to be expected to be able to surpass the uncomfortable stage, being able to understand, like, okay, I appreciate that challenge. This really challenged me to keep forward. Even when things didn't go my way, I didn't allow myself to sit there and pout. I tried to allow myself to go through it. You know, and those are the different things that, you know, we have to really practice on a daily basis. You know, a lot of times things are not going to go as planned. You know, there's a lot of times where it just feels like, you know, you just don't have that person to ride with you during different things, but that's okay. A lot of times, you know, that road is lonely. You know, even though you're not alone, that road can be very lonely. And they want you to be able to know, you know, different things is going to lead you to greater journeys. And they want you to be able to understand that. They always telling you, pay attention to the different signs that's, you know, that's taking place. You know, if you're a person that listens to music, there's a lot of different things that'll speak to you through music. You know, different things that come up, like if you're feeling low, and you know, so many different things is just not going right in your life. And then next thing you know, I know, like back in the day, well, not back in the day, but when I was in, you know, my situation, it's like, I'm guessing my energy is kind of like cattle prong. Everyone is so reactive. And it's just like, Lauren, you gotta, you know, it can be like that sometimes. But a lot of times you have to understand, when you're moving through and you're facing a lot of dilemmas, you're facing a lot of confusion in your life, and you're doing everything you possibly can to, you know, move through clarity, even when things is like really rocky. You're being for, like, come on, it's just like God is that, you know, that person that do different things on airplanes, trying to direct you in a clear view of where you can move, where you can park. And that's what you're going through. So you have to understand, there's a lot of energy where it's going to be clashing with a lot of people. And it's not the fact that you can be the problem. You know, you may be going through a lot of different things, but you're seeing everything as an opportunity to be a better person for yourself, and a better person that can open doors for things that you more deserving. But there could be a person that over here, you know, and I had to learn myself, you got to be understanding, you know, even if people are just so used to being a negative person, you don't know what that person had to go through just for them to, you know, get out of that negative circumstance. Sometimes it's hard for people to do that, and that's just their personality. And I had to be able to allow myself, don't take it personal, even when they push you towards me. Don't take it personal. Just allow yourself to keep going. And, you know, and then there are some people that'll be out there and say, you know what, I'm going through the same boat. How do you get through this? You know, or how do you be able to get through the day when you have so many different things going on? I know I shared a post today, and it made me think about Betty White. I said, God bless her soul. And yeah, I just think about her birthday was just a couple of days ago. So happy belated heavenly birthday. She would have been 100. But she said, if you allow yourself to not take everything so seriously and try to find something funny, find something humorous through every day, you'll start seeing how much you can get through the day, even when things are not going right for you, and it went straight left, like a strong left, like it took a hook and just did a California pause and just kept on going. And they want you to be able to understand that your purpose that you're meant for is going to be it's like you have a constant battle, and a lot of times it's like we feel like it's us against the world, but it's like our new self against our old self, because it's like if you're in that new and you're solid with your foundation within yourself, it may be hard for you not to react instead of responding, and a lot of times you just got to keep quiet and stuff like that. And so it's that old self that, a lot of people are being pushed in solitude right now. So it's just like, it's telling you, getting very acquainted to yourself, keep showing up till that person within yourself is in direct alignment with your higher self. So that they're telling you, keep showing up for yourself, keep going up for yourself. They know it's so easy when things aren't going your way, and you're like, you know what, bump it, I'm gonna go lay down, I don't want to do nothing, I don't want to feel nothing, I don't want to be bothered with nobody. But then if you allow yourself to say, you know what, this is a sucky day, thing ain't going right for me, but let me find something that uplifts me, whatever I like to do enjoyable, let me go do that craft. If you like to be that person that blasts music, dance around, act silly, they want you to go do that, and if you like working out and taking off steam, go ahead and do that. Do something that gets your mind off of what you're lacking at that time, and allow yourself to use that constructive time for yourself to put you in that mood. And even though things are not going right for me around right now, let me allow myself to enjoy this moment to better myself, so I'm not allowing these things to take so seriously. But it's easier said than done when somebody's not dealing with the stuff that you're dealing with, but they're dealing with their own thing, and it's just like, I know my situation. I know the burdens I have, but I also see the burdens that brought blessings to my life as well. So let me allow myself to see that as a blessing, instead of, because a lot of times it's all about the attitude that we carry when things are not acting right, or how we choose to see different things that's taking place for us to have to change the narrative of the negative. Allow ourselves to change the vantage point of how we choose to look at it. Yes, this is a very taxing situation, but also it's, creating patience within my life, to be able to know, it's flowing in my favor, even when things are looking opposite like that. They want us to be able to pay attention to, all those different things. But it's just like, shoot, we're only in the 18th day. And it just seems so crazy of all the different things that are taking place right now. Or even you may be still dealing with stuff from last year that, you're really trying to clear, and that's not an easy task to do. So, different things you have to understand. Your energy is going to be clashing with a lot of people. There's also going to be, some people are going to come into your life that's going to be really nurturing to you. You probably, if you've had people passing, that have passed over, that are really close to you, especially with you, Lorraine, I think there's about three around you that's really been trying to help you see through. Even when you started doubting, there is somebody that you really cared about that passed on, that always keeps giving you that vibe. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but there's a kind vibe that's coming through for you to let you know, hey, everything's going to be okay. Even though it may not be clear right now, it's gonna benefit you. So it's just like so many different things is taking place, and they really want you to, to nurture yourself right now. And it's hard to do that, and it's just like, you tell universe real quick, yeah, I appreciate the protection and all the good heads up that you're giving me. But even though you're the one who's protected me and got me through, this is taking a personal effect on my life. This not, it's not affecting you, but it's affecting me. But they understand that, we're the ones who's breaking, the curses and the cycles and stuff. And you have to understand, I have to remind myself a lot of times, you got to understand this stuff has been passed on and passed on and passed on. And it brings weight every single time it keeps passing through. So it's just like, going through that. And it's like right now you may be dealing with people that you've been, you've had a strong acquaintance with for a long time. And it's like, I know somebody was telling me the other day, it's just like people's not respecting my boundaries. And there's so many different things that is coming off where it's always a constant battle. And this is at that time for it to say, respect your boundaries. A lot of times with us as empaths, it's hard for us to, place boundaries up. It's like, hey, I don't want to deal with nothing negative. Or, hey, I don't want to talk bad about somebody or anything. It's like, instead I have a shirt that says all my friends are dead, Kathy, Mike, and Dad. There's a lot. Yeah, I remember when me and you used to talk about a lot of different things. Is there like 3 people? Because I think Mike is the one you told me about. I think he's been around you a lot lately, especially your dad. But there's a lot of different things right now that, you know, we're trying to smooth coast through a lot of things, and it's not easy to do when you're on bumpy roads. It's just like you riding a bike and you all over the place and you're at high speed. That mess can get scary because it only takes one rock, that you hit and you go flying. But there's a lot of our guides that are coming through and let you know, hey, we're protecting you. If it's something that is connecting with you and it can be very overwhelming, this is something that's coming through for you to understand a lesson that's being brought to you, or different past events that has came up that have been very brutal and very hurtful into your life. They don't want you. It's telling you it's time to release that. But while it's releasing, honor what that lesson taught you. There's a lot of people that's been lied to, cheated on, deceptive things just went on. People stabbed you in the back, or people, wanted people to see you in a bad light because of different situations they came with you. And, they're telling you to understand what's the moral of the lesson. It's like when I was little, a lot of different things. Well, Lauren, you know what I'm talking about, like when different things used to come on TV, after school specials, and you see somebody going through stuff, and I forgot it was this real popular show I used to watch, and it was always a moral of the story. And they used to tell different stuff like that. Like I used to love watching Fat Albert and Company. I think it was like Fat Albert and the Kids or whatever like that. And I always tell the moral of the story at the end, like if you had bullies and stuff like that, and there's a lot of times that you try to understand the school bullies, and it's just like a lot of times they tell you, sometimes the people that bully people have issues at home where they can't retaliate against the people that are hurting them in that way. So as like if you're going through an abusive situation with your parents, there's a lot of times where parents, just come and hit you because they have a bad day. So they want to take it out on you. And then when you go to school, it's like a ripple effect. You going through there. Hey, Annie, thank you for stopping through. And you're coming in and you see a school bully. They may be that one that's getting beat down at home and they can't get back at the parent that keeps doing it. So they do just like their parent did. They pick on somebody who's a lot weaker that that you're going to be receptive of that person being scary. So they will pick that person they know they can overpower like that. So it's just like, you're trying to understand how certain things are happening, and they're just wanting you to know the moral of the story. Because a lot of times we place judgment on people. I've been there, done that. I'll say something, well, this person's this and this person's that. And you have to understand that person. You have to be able to accept that person. If that person's negative, you have to, accept that person is just a negative person. Don't mean you got to deal with that negative person. You got to deal with a narcissist. You have to accept the fact that that person's a narcissist. That not everybody is willing to go through that change of event of allowing them to face all the emotional, trauma they've been through. A lot of people just choose to project. It's easier to do that. He's like, good topic as always. I just, like I said, I know you coming in late. I said I was going to be on here probably about 30, 45 minutes because there's so many different things that I've been placing in my schedule and trying to keep it on that exact thing. But yeah, me, I always try to do that, do it on chat support as well as the regular videos. But just give different things. I know a lot of us are going through a lot of changes and challenges, and those things can get very uncomfortable, and they keep urging us to go past that uncomfortable stage. Do something that you haven't been bold enough to do. When you can allow yourself, if you're around a lot of negative energy, it's like, LOL, it's like, go on. You're around a lot of negative energy, and they want you, no matter how much that energy is surrounding you as negative, find something positive about that and just say, sometimes you got to psych yourself out. It's all about psychosis. It's all about, like if you're watching a scary movie or listen, like me, I love scary stuff. And it's just like, matter of fact, prime example, I'm like, anybody who watches like scary stuff on here on YouTube, they got this channel I really love called Nightmare Files. And I watched that the other day, and it was like 3 creepy stories, and it has the footage to prove it. And you see, on the thumbnail, you see a guy walking down the street, and it's just automatically when you're hearing a story, you're not actually watching it, but you're hearing the story. Our minds are very powerful. So even the things that you're not seeing, but you're hearing, hearing it, you're placing yourself in that situation like, man, that mess might be scary-ish, you know. And then it was just the fact is, I remember I left a comment on it, and I sit up here and said, it's already freaky when you're listening to a scary story and somebody's telling it to you. But then when they're showing the actual footage to prove what happened, it's like, it's like attack once. It's like, did you get many times? Ain't not once. It's like, I like scary stuff to get ready. Creepy pasta, girl, I love me some creepy pasta. But Annie, go on. There's this place. There's a channel called Nightmare Files. Write that down. And it's like a video he did probably almost a week ago. And you'll see on the thumbnail, and it says like 3 creepy stories with footage to prove it, I guess it is. And you'll see somebody walking down the street. And when they showed the stuff that they showed and what made it so bad, I fell asleep watching a meditation. So it was just like, man, I ain't about to watch now. I ain't gonna have, you know, they say always got to be careful about what you watch. You become what you watch. And it's like you trying to go to sleep and you already having vivid dreams. And I woke up in the middle of the night and that was on. I was like, man, I couldn't go to sleep for a whole hour after that. I was like, man, look. Because it was, I mean, he had some really good topics on there. But it's just like our mind is like a very powerful weapon. That's why so many people try to control you by placing you in fear. He's like, okay, I do saying, yeah. It's like, yeah, but go, yeah, do that. When you get off of here, if you got chance, because I know you got the little ones and stuff like that, go on Nightmare Files and see that. Because it's like, I don't know if he did another video. Is that good voice too? Yeah. It is. And he got a voice to match that mess, because I know he does a lot of animations for people too, him and Mr. Nightmare. But yeah, he a very good content creator. I like his stuff. But yeah, he made this one. It was like 4 or 5 days ago, and he even did the one about Canada about that. I was real pissed off when I heard that, because I was just like, I can't believe that happened. But I knew I heard the story before, but this is that time where you're actually seeing people as a bystander about this guy had schizophrenia or bipolar, and he stopped taking his medicine. You already know that's not going to end well. But he ended up, I don't want to get flagged for that, but he ended up doing some real jacked up stuff, and there were people, the bystanders were pissed off at the cops because they didn't do nothing. And, something like that. He's like, yeah, I'll take a look. I think I did. Yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. If I got to, send me an email and I'll go ahead and send you a link to it and send it to you, and it'll show it. It'll show me, so I can share it with you. But it was like when I watched that, I was so pissed off. And I was like, I know this man did not, do that. I just don't want to talk about it on here because I'd be quick to flag you about different things you talked about. But he kind of did that to the guy. So I was just like, I was pissed off because I remember hearing a lot of people had the same thing saying, we've heard this, different people cover it, but this is like when he went into detail, I was like, because he said warning. He was like warning. But yeah, this is that time where there's so many different things that we are battling right now, and they're trying to allow you to get out of your head. And it's hard, but that's where the strength comes in, where you've been wrong, you've been this, you've been that. But then when you can allow yourself to flip that script on your own self and being able to say, you know what, this thing happened to me, but look at how much I've gotten over that I wouldn't have been able to get over before. Or I detached myself from people that I swore I wouldn't be able to move through life without that person. And look at how I'm moving now. I don't have those people in my life. Right now there's a lot of people that are placed in solitude, and it feels very lonely. But that's that time where universe and God is telling you, this is that time you had a life full of distractions, just like prime example, the quarantine, lockdown. This is that time where you had to get reacquainted with your families. You may be dealing with different issues where you look forward to work so you can be distracted of whatever went on. But then when you got in lockdown, you had no choice but to be honest with yourself, be honest with your families, your spouses, and stuff like that, and just get reacquainted with all those different things. So they wanted you to be able to allow yourself to really, really think of things in a different way. Is that you do well, I'm sure. It's still hard. Girl, I be having my moments too. I keep it real. There's times I'll be ready to go through the roof. There'll be times I want to catch a case, but that's where, it's so easy to be that way. What the challenge is like, even through whatever you're facing at that time, Allow yourself to see this as an opportunity. Like, this traumatic situation has broke me in every type of way, but it's giving me that exact moment to build myself up a stronger person and be more resilient than anything. It's all about how we choose to speak to ourselves. It's so easy to speak of negative things in our lives, and we're wondering why we're drained, or why we're so depressed and we're lethargic, and I don't want to do nothing. I want to lay here. I've been there, where I just want to lay in bed and just cry myself to sleep. I've been there. Or I'm like, it's not fair. Why is this? Why is that? But now it's like this, like, man, you know what? Bump that. Hell with that. Shake it off. Let me find something that's very therapeutic. Allow myself to go meditate, allow myself to go take a walk. Let me go paint my nails, or, let me take a hot shower, or let me put, some music on that I love to do. Let me allow myself to sing, whatever, things that I know that bring me joy, to get me out of my head. It's not about me ignoring it, but, we have a good way of ignoring things instead of allowing, like, oh, I don't want to touch that. It's going to put me in a bad mood. It's going to make me cry. I don't want to deal with that situation. Allow myself to really just see that, okay, what is it that I need to do? What is it this situation is really trying to tell me? If I'm going to face this, it's going to take a strong individual to do that. You have to understand that what we're going through is not for the weak-hearted. It's easy for us to project. It's easier for us to do different things. It's like, yeah, get reacquainted with family. It's like they all have reasons never to see me. And thanks again, and it's okay. I know how it is to be lonely, but a lot of times it's just like, I listen to Medea, and I love her to death. And then she always say, when people want to walk out of your life, you have to let them go. And it's hard when it has to be family. You already know, I'll tell you real quick, I don't talk to none of my family. None of them at all. And it's just like, I had to allow myself to accept that. And that was a painful situation for me to have to accept, even though I'm not in this situation alone, because I have a lot of, we got guides, our spirits, our family that love us, that passed on. We got so many people protecting us and guiding us, because they know the situations we're going through is not easy. But trying to be reacquainted with your family is like, I hope I will too. It takes time, and it's exhausting. Yeah, it is. They say the worst road to walk on is the one you have to walk on alone, but you're not alone. You're lonely, but you're not alone. And that is that time for you to be able to see, oh, and Annie said, hey, Lauren, hey, but just being able to go through it is not easy. It puts you through a whole bunch of changes of emotions. You get angry, you get sad, you get depressed, you start thinking negatively of yourself. It may be feeling like, your self-worth is like, there's happy. The government gave them a lifetime of excuses. It is what it is. It's like that at times. People are okay with excuses, but a lot of times it's hurtful to tell the truth. It's like that. But, this is that time where, it can be very bad when you seeing, you're stuck to yourself, and it's just like, me, oh, me, become Eeyore. Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. He's like, well, there's, I'm always by myself, and I felt so bad for Eeyore, but I've been there. I always said something so negative, and it's just like, okay, even though my family doesn't want to be bothered with me, they don't, it's hard for them to wrap their head around the things that I may be going through. There's some people like, I don't understand your situation, but I'm trying to deal with it, and a lot of times they don't realize when they're not understanding it, but yet they have no problem adding to it. Yeah. I feel no rest, and it is, yes. Yeah. It feels like that, but a lot of times when we start getting restless, it's all because we're in our minds about, what has happened, and we're allowing ourselves to go down that road every single time. I've been there. It's a struggle for you to walk away. And even though it was you that was hurt, or it was you that been lied to or whatever, it's hard. It's like, stop, girl. That's what my friend Flame tell me. It is Winnie's birthday today. Oh, okay. Oh, it is. Oh, well, happy birthday. Yeah. It's like that a lot of times, because it's you can be that, you can be down on yourself. And a lot of times we have to understand we are our worst enemy, we're our worst critic. And it can be very hard when, you see other people doing, like I would hate to see like Thanksgiving and Christmas and, all those family gatherings, Mother's Day, Father's Day. And those are the things I'm like, oh, it's just a day. I wish this mess would just fast forward and get through it. And it can be very painful, especially with whatever you're dealing with. You don't have those type of people around you. It's very hard. But that's where your strength really comes in, when you're battling that much hardship in your life. It really can make you strong, but it's just up to you to give yourself that chance. Be fair to yourself. Even when other people are not being fair to you, you have to be fair to yourself. You don't need to add towards that equation of what other people are doing to you. But you also have to see too, how people treat you is how they treat themselves. Yeah, he called me an hour or two 2 days ago, and I called him. Oh my God, I'm sorry. There's a lot of things about these twin flames. They bumping heads. It's like my family just threw the towel with me, but I'm on a burn bridges spree, and I'm angry now. But it's euphoric. You know what? It can be like that. I know it can truly be like that. A lot of times there's so many bridges you need to make sure you burn, so you won't be crazy enough to walk right next to a thing that already know is very detrimental for you anyway. There's a lot of times, where people will come to me and say, Raj, I'm really bumping heads with my family. Every time I talk to them, they say so many negative things to hurt me. I'm weak, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that. And it's just like, anytime somebody starts doing that about you, that's how they feel about themselves. But when it gets to that point where there can't be a mutual conversation, push them away, because I don't do well. When you're going through that, and where it's like it's never therapeutic and it's always a drain when you get around people, because a lot of times you have to understand, family feel like, oh, I'm the only family they got, so I can do this to them. I can do, because a lot of time people get off on trying to hurt you like that. It's sad, but it's like that. But then it's just like, regardless of the family I'm in, you're getting exiled out of that. A lot of times you have to understand, you're getting visions, you're getting on a purpose that not even was set for them. They placed you in that situation for you to understand that. And it's like hard. It's hardest, like you're used to people out on the street that's betraying you or do tripe stuff. But that mess hits deep. Is that, best days. Girl, it's not a fact I know, I learned from I know best, but I had to get to that experience to where I can do that. And a lot of times it was like I had to practice what I preach, and it was like I thought I was at times, but it was just like, you can preach to the choir, but are you preaching to yourself? I'm like, hey, touche. And I had to really learn from that through my truth, through my pain. You have to be able to walk away. Anything that is like really messing with your sacred space, you have to be able to cut that cord. It don't matter if it was a family member. Like I said, I don't talk to family at all. If anything is going to be where you're downing me, you're poking fun at me, you belittle me in front of people. Oh, no. I'd rather be by my dad and say, well, I love you. You can keep that. Because that's not love. That's codependency. I ain't got time for that. Love don't feel like that. Love don't pose a burn like that. I want that good burn, like, ooh, to give me chills. I want something like that. But if it's something like it's very toxic, be by yourself. I'd rather be by myself than have to question on what position you playing me in your life if I don't know. I'd rather be by myself. At least I know with myself, I know I don't have bad intentions for myself. If I'm going through it, a lot of times we can be so hard on ourselves to where we start molding ourselves out of what other people project on us. Yeah, we know our struggle. You have to. And a lot of times it's just like, when you want love so bad, and it's like it's coming from unseen forces. It's like, negativity can come from unseen forces, but love can also come from unseen forces. But it can't come through and penetrate if our heart is so closed up. Right now, if you've been having a lot of like these little spasms, or it feels like your heart's cracking open, because it's like that heart chakra is really working its way through, because the universe is like, let us send you this love, let us send you this comfort. You're seeking love from people that are not wanting to reciprocate what you're trying to push out, and we start getting needy on that. And they're telling you, if they don't want to give you that, and you're telling them constantly all the time how this make you feel, how that make you feel, I had to teach myself, they heard you the first time, they just didn't care. A lot of people get comfortable with misinterpreting you. A lot of people get comfortable in making you feel like, especially if you have nothing, you have nothing there. That's the most dangerous thing to a person. Is very toxic. They will use that against you. And this is where your strength really needs to kick in at. And it's telling you, even when you're so used to relying on people, when you don't have anything, now it's just time for you to rely on yourself. If you needed it, you would have it. And even if it's something like, like God will tell you, just come to me for it, like, hey, I'm translation problems. Yeah, I understand. It's gonna get there, Annie. Different things is gonna come through where it's gonna benefit you in a very, very, very good way. It just, a lot of times, like, I hate saying, but it takes time. I don't like that. I'm a very impatient person, and God didn't really put me through the test of being patient. And I have no choice but to wait. And it's like anything, what your weaknesses are. If you don't believe in yourself, God and universe is going to place you in a situation where you have no choice but to believe in yourself. When you're in different situations where you got series of doubt, this is where your pessimist has to be an optimist. You always got to be open to positive, especially if you're that person that are always pessimist about everything. I've been there. I've been there a lot. But then it was just like, maybe this is preparing me for something better. Maybe, me being alone is maybe getting me reacquainted with myself. Yeah, I know I'm still scared. I mean, that's all right. The patience is not, it's, I understand what you're saying, Lorraine, but it's just like all about perspective, and I know I hate being patient because I'm like, I want my stuff yesterday. I'm tired of waiting. Be feeling like, God be feeling like molasses on a cold winter morning. Yeah, his patience is a necessity. You have to, because a lot of times when we are waiting on something, God wants us to just like trust the outcome of what I'm doing for you. And a lot of times it's hard for us to be able to do that. Like trust it, being able to allow yourself to enjoy the moment until I'm like, you're not in this situation. I am. You see everything. You know things before it happens. So it's easy for you to say that. But then it's just like when you allow yourself to really get out the mix of everything that's going on, you really see that the situation really got me waiting. But then it allowed me to, if we stay focused on what we don't have, we stay focused on what we no longer want to be around, what chapter we want to end. That's all we're going to keep. That's all we're going to keep manifesting. But then it's just like, if I allow myself to stay busy, and not stay busy from ignoring things, but allowing myself to face what God needs me to face into my life, what really screwed up, to actually create something better. And that's what he wants us to stay focused on. This is bettering me, and this is creating a force within me that I didn't know that was always there. And a lot of times we have to understand a lot of that stuff. Yeah, God's on one day at a time, 20 years for me. Girl, I know. I know. I know what you're going through. I understand. I may not know the exact experience, but I know that feeling. I always try to tell people I can only admit I don't use that verb, that not that verbiage, or even I hate that, because it's like, I don't know what you're going through. You can't tell me how to lace up my shoes when you ain't walked in them. You can't. I know that feeling of going through a lot of things, because me and you talked a lot on one-on-one. So I really get you. I really understand, that experience. Let me say that feeling of that experience, not that exact experience. So let me retort. I understand that feeling that you carry from your burdens that you've been faced with. And it's not easy. You can be mad at the world. You can try to feel like, why am I around everybody just getting blessings, and I'm still sitting up here dealing with, things is getting worse and worse and worse, and I understand that. I get it to the end, from the beginning into the end, I know. But it's just like, that's that time to get reacquainted with yourself. What do you want in your life? What do you feel like you deserve? If we keep on saying this, this person doing this to me, this person's doing that, they know what that is. And it's just getting to that point where you have to become your own best friend. Because sometimes, you rely on other people. They'll disappoint you every time. But when you start relying on yourself, even when you have nothing to offer yourself or nothing to offer other people, this is that time for you to place that love in yourself. People ain't loving you. That's where they're telling you, add the extra love in yourself for the lack of other people that are going through. Yeah, yes, and say you do understand. That's why, I like your channel. I'm glad you do. It can be a lot. It can be a lot for what you go through, and it is like, I'm doing a lot of things that's been very therapeutic for me. It can take you on that road, you know. But it's just like a lot of times I had to get reacquainted with myself, and being in isolation the way I forced myself to be, it taught me a lot about myself, what I know I deserve, what I'm not going to put up with, what cords I'm just going to cut if it's just if it's overwhelming me constantly when it comes to different people. And it's not me being harsh or being mean or, wanting to leave somebody at the worst moment of their time. But it's just like, if I'm trying to tell you, have courage in yourself, it's not easy to do that. It's not. And a lot of times we go to external validations to understand what we're going through when they're telling you to trust yourself. You can't always rely on other people because, other people are going through what they're going through too. And they're trying to help. They're trying to be there when they possibly can. But there's times where they have to focus on themselves. Like I tell people, hey, if I haven't responded to you yet, be patient with me. I'm going through stuff just like you're going through stuff, but this is that time I have to step back, and me has to be my first priority, because I was always showing so many people. Yes, it's like, I like to hear people. Yeah. Hear people who can understand people as people. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's true. I understand that. Because there's times I had to be reacquainted with myself, know where my worth stands at, regardless if other people around me doesn't know that I know my worth. I'm not going to entertain anything that is going to be draining to me. And I had a bad habit of that. I always constantly showed people how I constantly put myself second and their priorities was first, or I was always having to be forced to, accommodate other people when they had no problem with, put me in a bind. And I was just like, I'm being very assertive, and I had to be like that. This is a whole new year, and I'd be dag if I'm going to bring up the old vibes that I've had for the last few years and bringing it to something new when I'm trying to create something new. And that's what we have to be able to fall back and say, you know what? I know what I want in life. I know what I deserve. And I know what I worked hard for. And that's what I want to stay focused on. What can I do to get myself out of this funk? What can I make myself feel better when I'm going through so many different emotions? And then when I allowed myself to really open up and see that truth, it was very scary, because there was a lot of fear type projections that I allowed myself to hold on to, and I was comfortable with that. You know how they say, you can be in a worse situation. They say, get out your comfort zone. I'm like, what the hell? What makes you think I'm comfortable here? This is a war zone. You got comfortable, so comfortable, where you allowed yourself to sit there and get comfortable in being hurt with yourself, being comfortable with being abused and stuff like that. And that's when at time I had to be able to allow myself to be assertive about, what do I want to change in my life? What do I want to bring into my life? They always say you have to be careful about be very clear with yourself and with the universe. They already know what's better for you, but you can want one thing, but you keep focusing on something else. And that's what I did. And it's like, great morals is getting higher on your standards and getting higher, and while the world is falling. And so alone may be better for us all. It is, and to that point where when you're in complete alignment with yourself, doors will open for you. And it's difficult. Nothing like that is easy. It's like help you for you have to be able to put yourself. And a lot of times it is hard for us to say no to people. At times it's hard for you to not, when somebody's calling you and not answer the phone because you're going through your own thing, or somebody's texting you and you're not responding when they need you to. And it's just like, I'm going through things like now, I tell people finally when I get in touch with them, I'm like, hey, when I say I'm doing self-care, it's not, being mad or, or being pushy or, belittling you. But I said, if I ignore you, it's not because I'm really trying to. Yeah. But I had to put myself first. Sometimes I put everything on do not disturb and allow myself to just let me stay focused on me right now. I don't want nobody to ever think that when I tell you, hey, I'm going to help you out the best way I can. But for me to help you, I got to help myself first. And I'll tell people real quick, if I would have helped you when I helped you, I would have made more harm than good to your life. I will not be on that vibe where I know I don't push somebody over the edge when they already had some stuff going on. But I had to be able to allow myself to rely on myself. Because there's so many different times I went through things and I would call people up and we were going through the same thing and I would talk about it. And instead of being relying on myself and talking to my guides, or talking to spirit that comes to talk to me. I always relied on telling other people that, and they say you have to stop doing that, because there's a lot of times that people, you don't realize people put that on you just for them to go back and get that confirmation, like, oh damn, so whatever I was working them, that mojo and juju and voodoo and hoodoo on them, it actually worked. So there's a lot of times, instead they always tell you, go to God before you start going to other people. Even it could be your closest friends that you don't realize, don't flip the script, and you don't even know it until it's too late. That's why they say a lot of things that you're going through, especially right now, you have to be able to keep it to yourself. Go talk to God, go journal. I even tell people, if you got a video, if you got like a laptop, or you got an app on your phone where you can journal, or even, because sometimes it's always best that keep certain things to yourself, allow certain things to work out for itself. Or a lot of times when you're allowing yourself to clear and being open, the universe is saying, yes, I want to get the clarity from you so I can know how to get to that next step. What you're showing me and what I'm going through is not easy, but I want to give myself that chance to better what I need to do that's best for myself. And for me to be able to do that, I have to be alone. And that's not easy to do when you want to be around certain people. You want to, if you got a twin flame, you want to be around your twin flame, or there's some person that you really love and you want to be in that connection. But for in the universe, they'll piss you off, because it's like, I want to be around this person. You see that the feelings are mutual, but you're making me wait. And it's just like, if they want, this is something that God's bringing to your attention, that is going to be that blessing for you. But for you to maintain that blessing and get to it, you have to correct yourself first for this to actually work. Because if He gives it to you before you start being healed, or when you're in a hurry, or when you're impatient on doing different things in your life, it's you're going to get a blessing of a lifetime and end up correcting it yourself, because you were impatient because you didn't want to feel that. So those are those things. It's like, yeah, I'm comfortable with the short end of the stick and seeing the good in the raw end of the deal. Yeah, it's just like when you're so used to bad things coming into your life, or you're always getting the scrappy leftovers or the sloppy leftovers. And it's like you have to get out of that sequence of always dealing with stuff like that. If somebody doesn't want to come all the way through in that connection with you like you're coming with them, that lets you know they're taking you for granted, but you're allowing yourself to really allow them to take you for granted. This is that time where you need to pull back and say, if this is disturbing my peace and you know what it's doing to me, I got to go. A lot of times people don't know what they had good until it's gone. If they're not respecting the presence, they need to respect the absence at the same time. And I always tell people, you got to think about it. And I have to tell myself, there is somebody that has you on a vision board that's praying for a person like you, because they value what you have. They've been around a lot of sloppy people, and junk like that. Going to fake friends. Yes. She's like, Omega McBride, hey, yes, you are. Because there'll be sometimes, but that when it's showing you like that, that's telling you that expiration done came up. A lot of times you can have a person that, they can totally get you. They're their mirror. But I made a video about that today. It was about how different, you're ending different connections with people through a tough time, when things are really hitting shit deep with you, excuse my French, but really hitting you hard on that. And that's why they're telling you were in that connection because there's something that has been repetitive from every cycle in your life. Like, this is not our first time being here. So this is the same, wherever we're having issues with now, this has been that way from the beginning of time, since you first got here, and doing your experiments on earth and learning and growing, because you had to go through all this and show what's the moral of the story of this. It's either you being with people around you that don't know your worth or don't care about your worth, or they see it, but they want to make sure you break it down for you not to see it anymore. So when they all of a sudden you start seeing the true light about it, because it's always been there. And there's a lot of times with us being empaths, there will be so many different red flags that's coming up. And we give excuses. Oh, maybe they had a bad day. Or maybe, they got into an argument with somebody and they're unleashing it on me. Yeah. Everything has not everything has an expiration date, but when things is only supposed to happen, they're either going to last for a lifetime, or it's going to happen just for that season. And a lot of times we misinterpret which one is, is which. So there's a lot of things that, I've been that type of person, like, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I see this coming? Universe will place you in certain situations for you to see those patterns. Recognize when real is not real with you. Real is being very foolery, fakery, and then when you're allowing, because a lot of times we can say, oh, I wish I never met that person, or that person, is this and this and this and that. You have to be grateful for those type of people. So when you got those kind of characters and, coming up and, in your life again, you already know if it's not like you trying to relive that, that experience of where you really, is that who is who, right? And I mean, it's a lot of times it's not either right or wrong. It's just that experience you had to be able to go through, and then when a person comes in, because a lot of times they got that, if you're not healing, you just gonna have the same situation come on with a different devil face. It's going to be the same situation, but it's just going to be a different person. You're going to see a different person with the same situation. But they're telling you to make sure that you appreciate that backstabbing fakery that person showed you. Make sure you appreciate what that person devalued you. That allows you to know you're a valuable person, but they didn't even value themselves. Especially if you're coming in genuine, have no hidden intentions, no motives, and they do you like that, you have to understand. People like that, genuine people, they don't get that, rarely. They rarely get that. And when they do, they don't know what it looks like because they're so used to people manipulating them. So they're so used to people treating them bogus. They're so used to people throwing them to the left and just treating them like anything. So they got used to that. So when you come in and you really want to see this person soar, you want to be that person to be their cheerleader, to make sure that they win. They're going to be like, what's the point? What's the catch? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And then they discard you. And when they finally see you in that vibe, a lot of times you have to understand, some people only have access to you when you were not healed all the way. You needed that person like they needed you. You were that blessing. Even when you lose somebody and you had good intentions, hey baby, they lost you. You didn't lose them. Trust me, you did not lose them. Is that, yeah, I lost a friend from back in the day. But it's like people want to use that tragedy as a way to reattach, but it's like, no, y'all never cared about me in the first place. Boy, oh my God. I mean, there's so many different things that I've been posting lately, and it has that, because I know I did Creative Wonders. I shared one of his videos today, and he said, I used to be that person that always used to be afraid of losing people. But then you have to understand, if it was a loss, not everything you lose is a loss. It's not everything you lose is a loss. But it was like those people were in your life. If they freely went like that, they didn't care about you anyway. You were just beneficial to them. Because you have to understand, with us being empaths, especially if you have that kind heart, you don't know how many magnets that creates to bring so many unhealed people. They're toxic, jaded, and everything else. Yeah, it can be like that. And you gotta say, yeah, that crap. That's why I'm still scared. Yeah, I understand that. As Omega, you must be a young. It's like by 50, you'll be probably lost them all. It's like probably family too. We're not rejected. We're just repelled, like them. And it's raid. Oh my God. But it's just like, it took me a long time for me to say that, because there's times I got so mad that I've supported so many people. I went above and beyond more than other people did. And then in the results, I ended up getting stabbed in my back many times. And it was just like that point in life. It was just like, and it can really hurt, and it can hurt deep. But you have to understand, God sent you as a blessing to that person. They needed you as that blessing. Don't ever regret or resent how you were good to somebody, because you were that blessing they needed. And by the time when they seen that you were that genuine person, that ride or die person with them, a lot of times people want you to be a ride or die into their foolery. And it's like, I'm that type of chick. When I see this stop at the stop sign, I'm out. I say I'm out. There's only ride or die I'm going to go for. But no, all this you got going on, there's certain things I'm just not going to condone. I've been that type of person, catch myself and wonder why I'm sitting up in a jailhouse with somebody on some stupid stuff that had nothing to do with me. Now I'm like, oh no, I ain't a part of that life. I'm good. He's like, yeah. I'll be fake sleeping on the bus so people don't. Annie, I'm not even dealing with you. Oh no. But yeah, you have to understand, no, not everybody is used to that. And a lot of times, God will bring people in your life. Let them think you a zero. He put you in that situation there already, because it's just like, I know I was listening to a video the other day, and when I said that hit deep and it made so much sense, like, why bring people in my life that they're going to come around and screw me over anyway? Especially with me doing what I do, I get a lot of experience in my life, but now I'm at that point where I appreciate even the negative as well as the positive, because it taught me about myself. It taught me about how people can be, how cruel people can really be, and it was something that taught me so much. Like, allow you to value yourself. Put that boundary up. If you see somebody's not representing you or reciprocating what you pushing out, you have to allow yourself. If you don't like what you're getting, you got to change what you're giving. Of course, if you give just a happy to help, you're just happy to help, sorry, hun, I met amazing people because of it. Oh, yeah. Never stop, because it was just like, you've been with me for a while, Annie, so you luring. I had a friend that was part of the tribe, and, he lost his life. And I remember there's different times that I've been there with him, and there's nights that, he was going through his situation, because he was a war vet. So a lot of them, and that still touches my heart. I was raised military, in my adopted family. So I knew a lot of different things that soldiers were exposed to. And I was, like his sister. And the next thing you know, I heard his life was cut short, and it made me just want to distance myself. And I said, no, that pain was unbearable. But then it was just like, he came to me and said, no, you were the best part. You understood me. You never judged me for anything. You always broke it down, because there was a lot of times I used to joke with him. I'm like, dude, you ain't in the military no more. Just take your time. You're going to figure it out. You're going to understand. And then it made me, he was just like, you're doing good things, and don't stop doing good things because you're still living. Don't deny yourself, because life was denied to me. I want you to still keep helping people. It says, Roslynn, I'm fighting with the corner store, the McDonald's, and the road cleaners, and my kids, hell, everyone except you and my therapist. Yeah, I mean, it's like that sometimes, and you have to be able to, a lot of times you go through the worst situation, it leads you towards the greatest victory, and you really have to allow yourself to, really, really, really go through that. And a lot of times you don't understand where your strength is in so many hidden places. It's not even funny, and, you go through those different things into your life. And it's like, Laureen, I'm not sure. It's an age thing. Everyone is growing at their own pace. However, I've had let me turn that down. Hold up, y'all. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to get copyrighted. No. Okay, good. Let's get that ad. I hate ads. Oh, thanks, Annie. I appreciate it. I mean, thank God with my gift, he pops by a lot. So that's a good thing, even though I get emotional when he does it. But he always tries to come in because he's so goofy. So he always trying to come in and say some stupid stuff. I'm like, you so stupid. He says, that's all right. I put a smile on your face. And I'm like, man, leave me alone. But he's like that. But he was just like, I've had no one I considered a real friend for about 2 years. But to your point, family used the pandemic to ghost me. There's a lot. I mean, you know what? And I understand what you're saying, Omega. And a lot of time, your energy can be so potent. When you got that light, it irritates the heck out of a lot of people's demons. You got to understand that as well. And it's hard. There's a lot of times, it's like the way I'm very outspoken, it can be very intimidating to people. And I'm not saying that in a condescending way, but when you have that vibe that is meant to stick out, it's going to disrupt a lot of people, and they don't want to deal with you. I've had, family, I mean, I want to be able to hang with you. No, I don't really want to do that, and that's, and this is that, I don't know. I guess it's like a shock vibe of experience you have to be able to go through. And this is that time where, yeah, you want to be with family, you yearn that, but don't force yourself to be in a connection that is not wanting to work with you. That's that time to say, honor yourself. And that there's a lot of different things we're going through right now. It's where family don't want to be around you, and you really trying to prove, hey, I want to be there, I want to hang with you. But if somebody want to walk away, you got to be like, okay, I can't force you to be in my life. That's a two-way street. And even on one-way streets, you still got to look both ways, because it could be an opposite direction. You get hit by a car and it was like, and it'll be it. But yeah. Okay, because y'all coming, I'm not used to this. A lot of people popping up, interacting. I'm used to y'all interacting, but so many comments and so many people coming in through it. It's good, but I'm trying to read everything. Yeah, it's like look into your blood type. Will tell you a lot about yourself and what you should be eating. Yeah, is I enjoying my solitude these days? Yeah, that's how you know. I know I put up a post the other day. It's like knowing when you're walking into your power, when you're disconnecting with people, instead of you seeing this as a harsh breakup, it's an energy clearing. Y'all's, a lot of times it hurts deep, especially if it's somebody you really care about. But it's like some people are only supposed to have access to you for a certain amount of time. Like I said earlier, they're only supposed to get a certain version of you. And then when you've learned your lesson through them and they've done the same thing, because we're both teaching each other, it's like a teacher-student situation is being exchanged. There's a lot of time people mirror you. I've had a lot of people that went through the same situation with me. And I was like, oh, this is going to be my age for a good minute. And all of a sudden I start feeling the shifty vibes. And they're like, oh, I'll be here and never show up. Or, oh, I'll call you back, never do that. Or they come up with every excuse. And then it was just like, instead of me, I used to force that and wait. And that was the things that was telling me they don't want to be there for you anymore. That time is already expired. So it's time for you to take that step back and get focused on yourself. And a lot of times it's hard for us to be able to maintain friends when you've been burnt so many times. People stay here, or, they'll be there like, oh, I can really see myself being friends with you for a long time, and this and this and that. And then next thing you know, something go totally left. And it's just like, I've been there like, see, this is the reason why I don't like people getting close to me. But it's just like, you don't know. There may be a person that's going to enter your life that really, appreciate that time you're giving them, because they're so used to being pushed off aside, But I love my solitude, though. It's been doing good. It gives me that time to really stay focused on myself, and all that. It's like nothing against age, but I just found out, they all dropped over the years, and by 50, all gone. And yes, my family was happy. They don't have to visit. That's sad. You got to go through that. Animals and kids tend to love me. Humans always weird with me. It's like that a lot of times. It's just like, because it's like with you, Wildflower, you got some very potent energy, and it's not bad. It's just a lot of times people can't handle people like us, and you have to understand that there's only a select few, and they most likely they got that same vibe. But there's a lot of times people come into your life, and you tend to find, like I said earlier, you tend to find your strength through the harshest moments. It's like, me to find myself and where my strength lies, I had to go through so many things that was so treacherous, and to grow from that shows you where your strength is. And it's just like a lot of people, it's like when I was younger, I would say I don't like women, I hate men, we're all the same, all like some of us are Arcturians, black boy, and gotta admit, I'm still honestly wrapping my head around the fact that this is all fact that this all is even a thing. Yeah, it's like when you have presence that intimidates, when all you want to do one is peace, and to see people love one another. It's very sad. I've been around people that didn't like how I spoke about different things, or how I said, people will ask me like a question just to see if they can trigger me. And I go all around it and still answer it. If I choose to want to respond to it, if I know somebody's trying to do something stupid to get a reaction out of me, and I'm like, I don't know, it's whatever, and be very cut and dry with it, because I already see the vibes you're trying to pull off. You trying to get me to put myself in enemy lines. I'm not about to do that. I've been put on there so many times. Now I know what it gets used to, and it's sad, like, oh, I'm so used to that, and it's like, you can be used to so many people tearing you down and breaking you down in every way. But now it comes to that point when you're open, when you're open to your gift, you have to understand, Heyokas is a walking trigger. The more you tend to get stronger and knowing you're here about your purpose, New levels come with different devils. You don't have people, you don't have automatic enemies just because the fact is that you're open about your stuff. Like I tell people real quick, I try to be very transparent, speak on things that's worth me speaking on, certain things I can't talk about and stuff like that. But just being able to say it, I didn't get like this overnight. I had to go through those downfalls. I had to constantly fall to get back up. I had setbacks that gave me a powerful comeback, and speaking to a lot of people because I want to see people win, even regardless if they don't want to see me do that. And it is like people are like that, and it's sad, but people are really like that, and it's just like I like to be around people I can interact with and being able to talk to them and they talk to me, and just being able to understand, we all got a story, but a lot of times it's hard for us to make sure that people don't judge us on the chapter they walked in on. If somebody's always seeing things as something bad, and it's just like, you don't know what that person's gone through. You don't know what kind of tragedies they got to face on a daily basis. Maybe it's hard for them to be able to see the positivity in a negative circumstance. And I get that. I get that. It costs you plenty. A lot of times it's going to cost you the real, but then it's going to eliminate the fake. It really will, fight for the best in general. I rather, a lot of times I used to want a lot of people around me because that made me feel I was popular, I was important. But then it's like, even the most popular people, sometimes they feel alone because there's always some, that group that never sees the bad in whatever they do. When they know they're wrong, they're wrong, they'll still agree with them. Or when they say something, they'll let them know what they want to hear. But then when you start, it's not trying to challenge them or always got to be that person that's always right, but just being honest. I'm not going to agree with everything you say. I'm like, nah, I can't agree with that. And they're not used to somebody stepping up and telling them what they really need to hear. And all of a sudden, people are so used to being fake. When that truth come out, it is very aggressive. Like, I don't like that. And it's just like people normalize the fakery. People normalize the being ignorance is bliss. People are okay when they're in their small-mindedness and don't want to reach out the box. It's just like that at times. It really is. But y'all, thank you so much for stopping through. I really appreciate it. This interaction has been bomb. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the likes. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to see. I don't know what the future holds for tomorrow, but I'm going to definitely put it up. If I do go ahead and do chats and videos tomorrow, I'm going to make sure I definitely come in. I really like the fact that y'all interact. I'm trying not to just talk. It's not working. It's not working, Tal. It's going to be there, Lorraine. It's going to get there. I know times may be hard for you, but I know it's hard to hear things will get better, but it is. Thank you, Wildflower. I appreciate you. I love you so much. And thank you. I love y'all all so much. Because I actually stayed a little bit over when I was, but the conversation was really getting good, but I want to make sure I stay on schedule. So thank y'all so much for coming and interacting. And, like I said, I want to make sure I can do this, a lot more. I know it's been really crazy for us, so I haven't been able to stay on schedule like I used to, and I try to be really punctual about it. But when universe told me to step back and reevaluate myself, I got to be able to honor that. So, thank y'all. If I have a chat to come in tomorrow, you're welcome, Casper. Thank y'all for stopping through. Thank you for always supporting me and just being able to know we can have a platform where we can both, we can interact. We're all going through different things right now at the time, and no, it is not an easy task, but I'm telling you, it's building up strength within you. Everybody has that beast vibe. It's just these situations are going to allow you to find that within yourself, because we all have it. I feel it all through the vibes of the words y'all have. And a lot of times you have to find that strength through your tragedies. So, just take it day by day. Don't sit up here and focus on the whole staircase. Just take one step at a time. That's all you can do. When we start focusing too much on the future's not here yet. The past is no longer here. All you can do is just focus on the day. And a lot of times that's hard to do. But this is where that is going to come in at. And y'all are all in my thoughts and prayers. I'm so sorry for everything that you may be facing right now. But it is going to take you towards a better road, and just look forward to that. Maybe you got so many different things that's going on in your life that it's hard to really see that. but it's not going to always be that way. Everything that we go through is temporary, and we have to be able to deal with every moment, enjoy every moment. It's up to you to be able to try to find something very therapeutic in your life, to find something that is going to nurture your soul instead of snatching it away. So thank y'all so much for stopping through. I really enjoyed this conversation as always. So, I'm going to try to see if I can do it tomorrow. I don't want to put a thumbs up and say yay or nay, but if I do, just make sure, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you can be able to get the posts that I put out. Y'all know, on my community page, I leave a lot of different therapeutic things for y'all to look up to, even encouragement if you may be feeling down in the dumps. I put on crazy memes, make you laugh. And I also bring in my own personal IG reels that I'm starting to do as well, and sharing different things there. So you can go on my channel and surf through to see different things that I post on here, and it can be very therapeutic to you. So much love to y'all. Thank you for stopping through and interacting with me. I love y'all so much, and I'm keeping you in my thoughts and my prayers, and knowing beautiful things are heading your way. Once it's done, it must be very nice and cool. Yes, thank you. I love y'all so much, and I'm going to talk to y'all later. Much love wherever you're at. May God continue to bless your journey. He is, even if you may not see it, he truly is. So much love to you. And Annie, make sure you stop by Mr. Nightmare's channel if you like the scary stuff, because he really did put out a couple of videos lately. I haven't really seen all of his videos yet, but I've seen a lot of them that are very, very interesting. Scary, but interesting. Much love to y'all. Talk to y'all later. Much love. Bye. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all, I did like 4 or 5 videos before this. So if you want to check them out, they may resonate with you, they may not, or it may be therapeutic for you. So make sure you check them out. Much love to you. Bye.